I mean, we touched on the idea that in some ways having debt in general has kind of become a bit normalized in our society. Um, but when people get overwhelmed with debt and they're not sure what to do about it, or they're just at a point where it's not manageable anymore, would you say that for some people it feels like a sort of a moral failing of some kind? John, do you want to comment on that one?
Most definitely, I'd say a lot of people uh, take it take it personally when they kind of fail to deal with their debts, and they're embarrassed to come forward and approach someone like a trustee a lot of times. And it normally takes, from what my experience is, someone from maybe within the family or someone that they um, look to for advice to kind of steer them in our direction. Sometimes, like, it's tough it happens, but a lot of times some people don't want to take the first step on their own. They kind of have like a support network that kind of hopefully they open up to, and they send them our way. But most definitely they do take it hard, and a lot of them are, like Donna said, ashamed or stressed when they come to see us.
Mm.
Yeah, so that's what I
Yeah,
would say.
for sure, yeah. So now, I guess it may vary though, or depend a bit on how the debt came about. I guess it's the sort of maybe people's perception of whether it was because of some external factor, or because of their own perceptions of maybe their perceived shortcomings, that somehow that they've been not able to manage it well. But I guess, Tara, what's your perception of that, or maybe what's your experience in terms of the debtors that you've encountered, in terms of that balance of being able to identify, okay, these external things happened that impacted my ability to pay my debts, or well, no, it's all my fault, and kind of discounting the outside things that might have played into it.
And I think we see the whole range of that. You have some people that come in that feel very personally responsible, even though we can talk to them and see that things have happened to them that were entirely out of their control and that have impacted and have landed them essentially in the position that they're in. It is not entirely, their situation. Then other people are aware that they have been impacted by marital breakdown, or they have been impacted by job loss, or they have had something external happen to them, which is they haven't been expecting, and it's put them in a position that they're just not able to continue to service all the debt that they have. So I do see people that take a lot of personal responsibility, maybe even more so than they deserve.
Hmm.
I think a lot of times, because
Yeah.
everybody people feel really alone when when they start struggling with debt, and I think they close off
Hmm.
from friends and even family, so they become more alone, and then
Right.
it feels worse.
Yeah, yeah, they're more isolated or insulated from maybe even the people that could be a support network for them, which
Right.
is sad, right?
It is.
And yeah, I would agree with that. I think probably people, in terms of their sort of their meter, if you will, of where things land between well, this part's my responsibility and this part was beyond my control, is often skewed. It's not quite accurate, and I think that's just personal, like human nature, that you tend to fall somewhere on that scale a bit. And I mean, certainly the people I've talked to, sometimes it's helpful to kind of go through the story with them, and then they may even realize that there were a lot of external factors that really were beyond their control, and that while they definitely want to take responsibility and do the right thing in relation to their debts, they have to also acknowledge the fact that there's been some events that they couldn't control, and they couldn't predict. So they took on debt with the full intention of being able to pay it back, but something happened that impeded their ability to do that, right?